Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. Glad you've joined us this morning. This is the only show in the metro area that talks about construction and development. We like to talk about real estate development, business expansion, really anything related to Omaha becoming bigger, more vibrant, and more prosperous. Want to thank our sponsors, which are Dingman's Collision Center for metro area locations, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. The Omaha location located in Papillion near Highways 50 and 370. And now, without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker in the flesh, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Joe.
Well, good morning to you. And it is a beautiful late summer weekend. A lot of things. People have a lot of things. You know, we're past Labor Day and the Huskers are playing. It's a great, great time of year.
Nothing like 4 straight home games.
That's true. And this is number 3 out of the 4. Hey, we've got some good news. We have a Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review written by our friend Chris Corey. You know, Chris also does movie reviews for us as well. I noticed he posted a movie review on Grow Omaha social media recently, and someone said, "Now you're doing movie reviews?" We're like, dude, we've been doing it for 3 or 4 months.
Now he's doing a movie of us right now.
You're not wrong. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about restaurant reviews. This week, he reviewed Ruhlman's, which is the new steakhouse in Ashland. First of all, upon reading the review, I decided I want to try the place because it sounds really good. And he said they had $8 old fashions that were quite good. And I love a good old fashioned. That's a pretty good price.
I cut him off at $7.
At any rate, new place in Ashland, big hit. A lot of people. I understand it can be a little bit tough to get into, though. So you might want to go early. Or do they take reservations, Chris?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, they do take reservations now. They just started.
Well, you would think since we had Willie Thiessen, who was a major consultant on the project, and we had the executive chef on our show, I got the hat. That they could give us the hookup.
I beg your pardon. You said you got the hat?
They gave me a baseball hat. A Ruhlman's baseball hat. You haven't seen me wear it? I've been wearing all over town.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
But I want to try it as well over at Ashland. You don't think about a lot in Ashland. Like, you don't have the Statue of Liberty of Ashland or the major tower, but now I can have Ruhlman's. That's what you can think of.
Well, Ashland in general is going to grow quite a bit in the coming 5 to 20 years. You could see it blow up actually because of where it's located. We've got a lot of those lake neighborhoods near there. The river's close by, I-80 access. So I think you're going to see Ashland really blow up. And
the next Gretna.
Yeah, but in its own way. I mean, if you go to downtown Ashland right now, downtown Ashland, I think, is quite a bit better than downtown Gretna. It's more defined, and they've got that glacial till place in downtown Ashland, which is cool. They've got some quaint shops. So, yeah, keep your eye on that town. You know, since we decided not to flood it 20 years ago, now we're committed to making Ashland an amazing place halfway between Omaha and Lincoln. But anyway,
see what happens when we don't turn you into a lake.
If you want to read the Ruhlman's review, simply go to growomaha.com, and then on the navigation bar, click on Eats, E-A-T-S, Eats, and you can read that review as well as every other one we have as well, going back to our very first review several years ago. Well, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. We've been working with Eagle Mortgage here at Grow Omaha for 10 years or more.
Easy.
And that's probably about a third of the time they've been around, because they've been around for a little over 30 years. And they just do an amazing job. It doesn't matter whether you're a first-time home buyer or if you're a sophisticated, experienced, seasoned home buyer looking to get an empty nester house or a retirement place. They can help you at all spectrums of your life. No matter what, if you want to buy a house, talk to Eagle Mortgage. Conventional loans, FHA, VA, they have some specialty loans as well. Not a bank, so they get to shop the market and find the best lending solution for you in your unique circumstances. You can find Eagle Mortgage in person at their office, 114th and Davenport, or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com.
Get that pre-approval letter, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Trenton, you've got to crack some eggs if you want to build an omelet. And so that's one of the reasons why we also like to talk about demolition in a show that talks quite a bit about construction. And we've got 2 demo projects that occurred fairly close to one another in the last week on 72nd Street. The first one is a Runza, which is just a little bit north of Pacific. Many, many years ago, this was actually a Broncos building. Anyway, that building, kaboom, gone, and is going to be replaced by a more modern version of a Runza. And then a little bit further north, there's kind of this abandoned area southeast of 72nd and Farnham. And there had been talk about building a car wash there. We don't know what the condition of that project is, but there was a very small building that had been used as a used car dealership many, many years ago. It was an Arby's restaurant.
Yep.
Earlier this year, it caught on fire. It's been vacant and abandoned for a long time. That finally came
If I'm not mistaken, I remember going to that Arby's with my dad, and the window was on the wrong, like, you had to drive up, but they had to pass, like, the driver's seat was far from the window, so you had to, like, reach over.
I know there was a Taco Bell on Dodge just east of 72nd Street that was like that before they rebuilt it.
Very annoying. And that vacant building that Continental Cellular, whatever it was, Gamers building is barely there, but it's holding up that retaining wall. So that'll be interesting to take that down. But I know that they've done the engineering for it. It's not going to be a rocket car wash. Let's see what it's going to be. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But it is, it's a prominent area. People drive by 72nd Street all of the time, and we get a lot of questions in Omaha. What's going on there? Why aren't they doing anything?
But this Runs is rebuilding. They're taking it down, but they're rebuilding a new one. And I was talking to Dan Rudolph, who is the head of real estate for Runza, does a great job. And contrary to popular belief, I don't believe that those Runza heads that you see on Nebraska games looks like a cross-section of a Runza. People wear them like the corn heads.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's making those for themselves, and I would like one. So hit us up at news@growomaha.com and let us know what the hookup is. I would like mine to be a Swiss cheese and mushroom Runza.
Yeah, of course, because that's your favorite one. Let's go out to Heartwood Preserve, which is the 500-acre development southwest of 144th and West Dodge Road. Several things happening in that area. First of all, we have progress on Broadmoor's apartment project. This is just north of Millard North High School. In fact, we've had a lot of Omaha listeners ask us about this, too, because the first thing they did was build this parking garage, which is going to be in the middle of the apartment complex. But it's just kind of standing out there right now.
The concrete.
As this big gray behemoth. And we've had literally people say, what the hell is that monstrosity north of Millard North? Don't worry, you're not going to see that. That's going to be surrounded by apartments. But right around that area, lots of foundation work, and I was just over there yesterday, and it looks like those apartments around that parking garage are just about ready to start coming out of the ground. But that's only one of the three updates we have in Heartwood Preserve right now. The other one is construction has started on Olson's 4-story office building. Olson is a civil engineering firm. I believe they're based in Lincoln, but big office in Omaha, about 2,000 employees nationwide, big company. Anyway, their Omaha office is going to move from Exarban Village to this new 4-story building. Lanahaw Development is developing it. Looks like MCL is the contractor. Construction is underway. They had a big drilling crane on site yesterday.
And that's part of, like, I think Atlanta is doing like a 40-acre development. There's supposed to be a big parking garage. And
yeah, I think they're calling it either the Row at Heartland or the Heartwood or the Heartwood Row or something like that. But it's going to kind of have echoes of Exarban Village with new buildings that are built in kind of that urban style. In fact, this 4-story Olson office building will have ground level retail, and they're calling that the first anchor of that part of the project.
It's amazing how much money they spent on landscaping and all the rocks and the paths. I mean, there's a lot of park built into Heartwood Preserve.
It's beautiful. And in fact, right in that area that we're talking about, there's some of that. But then if you go to the west side, there's this linear park thing that they've been working on. And then, of course, on the south side of Pacific, that's part of Heartwood Preserve, too, which is where Applied Underwriters is building its beautiful new headquarters.
They're taking their time on that one.
They're taking a lot of time on that one. I mean,
the 1,100 parking stalls underground, but it's a big building. But I know they had a little bit of a pause during COVID and trying to figure out what they wanted their floor plans to be and stuff like that. But you'd think they'd get the move on.
My guess is they must be like carving some granite using pocket knives in there, because that is a slow-moving project. Now, that said, I'm not being critical, because it is an absolutely beautiful building. It's got a stunning presence right there, but it's taking a long time. But that's all part of it. It's a 500-acre project. In fact, Applied Underwriters is the company that's essentially developing the overall thing. Now, there's yet another piece of news coming out of Heartwood. The Arbor at Heartwood Preserve is an upscale residential neighborhood just west of Millard North High School. So these apartments were north of Millard North. This is west of Millard North. They're going to have row houses, single-family houses, and duplexes, all very upscale, very nice. Applied Underwriters has a couple partners on this. Groundbreaking for that project is this month. And now this is interesting. The press release and some of their marketing materials are referring to this as, quote, the first substantial residential construction in the Millard School District in 20 years. That's not true. There's been a lot of residential construction in the Millard District in the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
I don't know where they got that, but from what I can tell, it's going to be a heck of a project.
Maybe
and very nice.
Infill district or something they're trying to talk about. I don't know.
Or maybe they're thinking just around Millard North or something. But no, it's absolutely not true. There have been several neighborhoods.
Millard Northwest.
Now you're getting kind of confused, because we have a Millard North and we have a Millard West, and then people are just going to blow their tops.
But the location, the address is Millard Northwest.
Peterbilt of Omaha is building a truck sales and service center at, the exact address is 11502 Wickersham Boulevard in Gretna. And you might be thinking, where's that? Well, it is a frontage road on Interstate 80, southwest of the I-80 Highway 370 exit. A couple things are significant about this. By the way, it's right just beyond a Walmart superstore that's been there for a number of years. But this frontage road where Peterbilt of Omaha will be is actually being extended to the southwest along the interstate through a cornfield, and it's hooking up to South 168th Street. So you're opening that area for a lot more development there, kind of beyond the Walmart, if you will.
Wow.
I think you're going to see a lot of growth in that.
Yeah, there's
area.
a lot of land up there.
And that is your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. You can find out more about them by going to their website, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, we're going to bring on our friend Cam Vacek. Cam is the creator of several amazing restaurant resource lists, and she's teamed up with Grow Omaha, and her amazing lists are now part of growomaha.com. But we're going to talk about how you can use these lists, how she thought of the idea, and what they cover. If you like going out, if you like having a good time on the town and going to new places, you're going to love what's coming up
Or
next.
if you're having a family reunion or need a venue for any function, she's got that technology.
You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, and we'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics. Speaking of Cheer Athletics, if you are looking for a place for your kiddo or grand kiddo to really get involved and grow and develop their physical fitness, their confidence, their leadership and communication skills, check out Cheer Athletics, located just a little bit southwest of Highways 50 and 370. And you can find out more about them and what All-Star Cheer is all about by going to caomaha.com. Well, we are very excited here at Grow Omaha because we've introduced a new resource to the family of resources that we offer our listeners and readers and subscribers. And it is a series of lists about Omaha bars and restaurants and coffee houses and venues. We've teamed up with local entrepreneur Cam Vacek, who describes herself as a Jane of all trades, an entrepreneurial person who really has come up with some really cool business ideas, and she's part of the Grow Omaha family now. And we want to introduce you to her. Cam Vacek, welcome to Grow Omaha.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to have you here with us. And so first of all, let's talk a little bit about these lists. We're calling them Grow Omaha's big list of happy hours, local coffee shops, birthday party ideas, private party rooms, and daily restaurant specials. What do people get or experience when they go check out one of these lists?
Yeah, I would say the user experience is high priority to me. So where you go to some other lists in Omaha that I will leave unnamed. There's ads and banners and there's clutter, where I like a clean interface, a clean design where you can find what you're looking for. You're not inundated with things yelling at you, blinking at you. And then the filter options on the top, again, that goes back to usability, where I built the list that I would want to use. And so the fact that you can filter out by different variables and find what you're looking for quicker enhances the user experience.
What was the first list you made?
I believe it was the happy hour list. I've kind of lost track. They all blend in together, but I believe it was the happy hour list. And honestly, because I like deals, I immigrated here when I was little, so I always say I have an immigrant spirit. And when you have 4 kids like I do, you just can't afford to eat out full price all the time.
I got that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, I was just going to say, and because Cam was talking about how some of these lists work, and they're very searchable. For instance, one of the 5 is Omaha's big list of coffee shops, and I'm looking at it right now on my screen, and there's one thing where it says features, and you can search by, do they have pastry items? Do they have ceramic mugs versus paper ones? Meeting rooms, drive-throughs. You can search by noise level, loud, normal, quiet, and then locations in town. So it's a very interactive list. My guess is, Cam, when you were putting these together, knowing that there's 5 of them, it had to take a lot of time and a lot of research.
Yes. I would say the more time I spent on the back end making it user-friendly, the less time you spend as a user actually finding what you're searching for. So there's a lot of behind the scenes. There was a lot of tedium in developing these lists. So
all you have to do is go to growomaha.com. The pull-down menu, just go to lists, and you pick which list that you want. And what kind of feedback have you had on the lists?
The funniest one that I recall was somebody commented and they said, not all heroes wear capes. And so I thought that was funny, but I have a lot of people who are very complimentary. Compliments don't pay the bills, but they were just like, this is great. I use it all the time. People from high school that I haven't seen in 20 years, you're like, oh yeah, I use your list all the time. So it's just little pockets of things like that I hear.
And this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is another, like all of our services of Grow Omaha Media, it's free. Just like getting on our newsletter. Join one of the 21,000 plus people that get the newsletter every Thursday afternoon when Jeff hits send. And on this case, since it's new, one of the few opportunities where there's not a waiting list, if you're a business or you just want to put your name on it, you can sponsor the big list.
Yeah, and Cam, I want to kind of also go back a little bit to the origin of this. And what was it that was there? You said that, you have an affinity for great deals and all that sort of thing, but there must have been something that kind of sparked you to say, okay, I can take this ability I have to sniff out good deals, to take all 4 kids out or whatever the case may be, and turn it into this, because there's a big jump from that to an actual finished list.
Yeah. So the 2-minute story of how that happened is I was in web design. I did web design and marketing for a long time. When we had our 3rd child, kind of stepped out of that space, but I still had the inherent creativeness that I needed an outlet for. So I started a blog, and then I like deals. And so I was like, I know there's a list out there. The existing options were subpar, again, not user-friendly. So I set out to create a list that I would want to use, that would benefit my life. And if other people inherently get benefit from it, that's great too. And so it was just driving traffic. And that's really how, when you start as a blogger or a podcaster and everything, you're giving people resources before you ask something in return. So it was just really creating a resource in Omaha. And then a lot of these other lists that have come of it were just ideas that people threw at me. And really I had to create to think, like, is this something that I actually care about? Because I don't care about a dog-friendly cafe. So that was an idea thrown out to me, and I'm not going to make a dog-friendly cafe list.
So how do you...
Don't have a dog.
What kind of contributions have people that use a list given to you that really stand out?
Oh, man. I have subsidized so many children's birthday parties. I've gotten a lot of deals. I've gotten a lot of perks. I mean, I can't even recall through the years. So I haven't made a lot of money in terms of typical advertising, but it has subsidized my life quite a bit.
You're the definition of Omaha nice.
Potentially. I don't know.
We like to think of her that way. So So Cam, I said earlier you're a Jane of all trades because this is far from the only thing that you do. You have a lot of other entrepreneurial and creative irons in the fire. But I do want, before we wrap this up, to have you tell us about your very cool handwriting marketing business. A, people will be blown away by it. B, probably a lot of people that could take advantage of it.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. So,
In a good way.
Yeah. We started the first robotic handwriting company in Nebraska. As far as I know from the manufacturer, we're the only ones that own these machines in the state. But what they do is they hold ballpoint pens and they can do handwritten letters at scale. So you see the printed messages that everybody gets in the mail. You know it's printed. It's not legitimate. Ours actually hold a ballpoint pen and they manually write out messages. So we have different fonts, different handwriting styles. The software can randomize the variables so that no two letters, even with the same message, look the same. And we've kind of seen it used across all industries. We've done work for politicians and not even locally outside the state. It's done for businesses, for lead generation. We've done pretty much any industry, nonprofits. It's a great way to reach out to donors and not have to handwrite them yourself. So we've been able to scale the business outside of Nebraska, and it's been really cool.
And what's cool, you and your husband are doing this, and it's a big barrier to entry because these machines are very, very expensive, and you just got another machine. But you also do, so you can, in addition to just signatures, you can program it to do messages on the side of the signature that looks like it's very personalized.
Absolutely. Yeah. The software can account for what are called dynamic variables, and you get a spreadsheet, and every letter could actually have a different message. It can have a different salutation, could have different variables. So if you think like for nonprofits, for donors, you could have the amount that a person donated incorporated in the letter, and it's unique for each card.
And Cam, what's the name of that business and how do people get a hold of it?
Yeah, it's called Ghost Handwriter, just how it sounds, ghosthandwriter.com. So there's ghostwriters who write for you, but there's ghost handwriters who handwrite for you.
Who handwrite for you. And that's just one of the cool businesses Cam has. So, Cam, we really appreciate you kind of coming and showing us or explaining to us how these lists came about. And like I said, we're partnering with Cam. These lists will appear on growomaha.com. They're there right now. So when you have that question, right, when you and your friend or your family or significant other getting in the car, where should we go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I can't think of anything. Go to these lists, and there are so many different places. You will know where to go because you'll have all of the choices. Cam, thanks for joining us, and thanks for being part of the Grow Omaha family.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Cam Vacek, and she is, like I said, the inventor of our new Grow Omaha restaurant resource lists. Going to take our middle of the show break for the news, and when we come back, we'll have our commercial real estate development spotlight of the week brought to you by Noddle Companies, and we're going to talk about some downtown multifamily development projects. That and more coming up. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals at your service, sitting next to Trenton Magid. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. If you have the unfortunate occurrence to get a door ding or something worse to your car, check out Dingman's Collision Center. They have 4 metro area locations, and I know I've been a customer of theirs a few times. Unfortunately, I've had a few moments of getting door dings or run into or what have you.
They make it fun. It's serious business. They keep it serious. They do an impeccable job, but they get you through it.
What they say, the Dingmans will meet you by accident, but
I like it.
They do a great job with it, and like I say, Trenton has used them before too, and they also have mechanical services, and we highly recommend Dingman's Collision Center. Well, it's time for your Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight of the week, in which we give you a piece of news about happening on one of the Noddle Company's development projects. First of all, you should know that Noddle Companies is proud to be headquartered right here in Omaha. Big supporter of sports teams in the area and philanthropies and worthy causes, and also a creator of great spaces. Exarban Village, River's Edge, the Builders District, and many, many more. Noddle Companies has built some of our cool headquarters buildings in town, like Valmont and HDR and countless others. And if you want to learn more about Noddle Companies, you can check out their website, noddlecompanies.com, or any of their Facebook stuff and other social media as well. Well, the Noddle Companies project we're going to highlight today was a development that they have played an integral part in creating. It's the River's Edge development in Council Bluffs. This is on the east landing of the Bob Carey, Missouri River pedestrian bridge. And we've got some news going over there. The city of Council Bluffs has issued a request for proposal for a lot that was originally going to be a developer there was going to do 2 twin condo towers a few years ago, and that project didn't materialize. And so now the city is looking for a project of at least $20 million. And the proposals, the response to the RFP, if you will, are due October 25th. So we'll keep an eye on that to see what might also be coming to some available space in the River's Edge development. Now, on the east edge of the River's Edge development, there are several residential buildings, about 5 of them currently under construction right now. And of course, closer to the river, right there on the edge of this development will be the very cool tower and recreational facility and elevated tree walk right along the river. So much happening on the Council Bluffs riverfront.
There's plenty to see over there right now, Jeff. There's a huge statue. I forget the name of the statue, but it was made out of like recycled TV dinner, all kinds of aluminum or whatever, and with really tall legs. You can see it. There's a bunch of different art installations at River's Edge, so you can see the architecture and everything. There's plenty to do over there right now, but when this Mid-American Tower comes, it is going to be awesome.
And that is your Noddle Companies commercial real estate development spotlight of the week, noddlecompanies.com. Well, we want to talk a little bit about a few multifamily development projects happening in the downtown area. We track these pretty closely because there have been so many of them over the last few years. And also, the city and the Greater Omaha Chamber are very committed to attracting 30,000 more residents to the urban core. We need that to keep the city vibrant and healthy. It's one of the reasons why the parks were created along the riverfront, one of the reasons why we're doing the streetcar. Really kind of take advantage of that infrastructure we have in the downtown area to create a big tax base in that area to really power the whole city and the whole metro area. First one we want to mention, and this was actually the topic of our big story in this week's newsletter, which you can find at growomaha.com. The first one is called is at 1508 Marcy Street. Urban Village is the developer, constructing a 5-level building with 82 apartment units, indoor parking, on what had been kind of like a brownfield site almost. There was like a very practically unnoticeable small metal industrial building there that was taken down, just a 35,000 square foot lot. And this is kind of on the southern edge of downtown. Another one is called Jefferson Place. This is a 4-story residential building planned for 2226 Howard Street. They actually, crews actually took down a small single-family house that had been there for a long time. And this is right across the street from the Howard, which is a 6-story, 120-unit building that Arch Icon and New Style development recently completed. But this Jefferson Place one, there's going to shoehorn this in on this small lot. It'll be 34 units, 4 stories, nice little piece of infill.
Moving on up.
And then we have in the Millwork Commons area, The Frame, which is a $44 million multifamily apartment building, 5 stories, northwest corner of 13th and Nicholas Street. Millwork Commons is that cool new district north of Charles Schwab Field, anchored by the Ashton Building. And this new one, The Frame, will be just west of the Ashton
Is that
Building.
White Lotus?
The Frame,
Sounds like it. There's one of those.
It might be. Yeah, it might be. I apologize. I don't have that written down.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Jeff.
It's all right. 1501 Howard Street. Well, we have 2 by Clarity Development Company. One is 1501 Howard Street. This is a 3-story old historic building just west of the police headquarters, south of the Orpheum Theater. A developer was going to do something with it a couple years ago, and that apparently fell through. So now Clarity is going to turn it into a low-income housing tax credit multifamily building, 16 apartments with parking in the basement.
This is so important for the urban core to get density. And so when you take down a family house, build 4 stories or whatever, and do multiple units, that really helps the infrastructure. It helps fire, rescue, the downtown schools. It's all part of the master plan in order to build it up. And we're going to get a grocery store downtown.
And then the last one is another Clarity development project, also a low-income housing tax credit building. It'll be a renovation of the Standard, which is 500 South 18th Street. It's a 6-story historic building. I believe it's been vacant for a while, but it will have 40 apartments on floors 2 through 6, commercial space on the ground level. Real cool stuff. Continues to come to the downtown area when it comes to multifamily development. And with that, we are going to take our final break of the hour. And you know what that means. When we come back, it's time for the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a short period of time. I'm looking at the list, and it's pretty full. So you don't want to miss any of this. You are locked and loaded and ready for the grand finale of the show, listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. It's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things really fast. Thanks to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible. Who are they? Well, a full-service Class A general contractor serving the Omaha area and beyond. Parts of eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. They do a great job. Many experienced people on that Perkins Kreitzer construction team. And they do, healthcare, retail, office, education, religious, industrial, financial buildings, all that sort of stuff. But today, we're going to focus on one very exciting project Perkins Kreitzer Construction has coming up. And that is a new Hawaiian Brothers Island Grill location. So, ladies and gentlemen, picture the former Boston Market restaurant on the west side of 114th Street in the Miracle Hills area. Been there for a while, vacant. Well, not much longer, because Perkins Kreitzer Construction is just about ready to start renovations. Hawaiian Brothers is going to have their second Omaha area location in there. So very exciting stuff, and we thank Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible. You can find them online at p-cconstruction.com. Trenton, we've got the Street of Dreams coming up.
Absolutely. Jaylene and the fine folks at Metro Omaha Builders Association, go to moba.com, MOBA.com, this weekend and next weekend. So it was from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So today and tomorrow, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 20th, 21st, 22nd, noon to 6 p.m. You can go to moba.com and get your tickets. There's 5 different houses in 4 different neighborhoods. Doing it a little bit different this time. So you get to explore different neighborhoods. Price points up to $3 million, so you can see how all types of people live.
We have a new business called Sweet Beans Coffee. Sweet Beans Coffee, opening late October at 189th and Edna Street. Translated into English, that's the southeast corner of 192nd and Harrison. Sweet Beans Coffee is locally owned. They'll have a coffee shop, a roasting company, and like I said, coming in late October. Another coffee business, Cedar Creek Coffee and Art. Currently, Cedar Creek is a mobile espresso business operating out of a 1963 step van, but they have leased space in Old Town Elkhorn for a coffee shop serving coffee, tea, pastries. They'll also have an art gallery with an emphasis on local art. They will be opening in the spring of 2025. Another place to have a sweet treat, Cinnaholic Gourmet Cinnamon Rolls will open its first Nebraska location September 20th in Gretna, 11922 Standing Stone Drive. This entity is based in Atlanta, has more than 100 locations in the United States and Canada. The local owners of Cinnaholic here in Omaha will be Susan Kanda and Brian Lepore. Each Cinnaholic roll is 100% plant-based and free of dairy, lactose, eggs, cholesterol, and probably some other bad stuff.
Interesting.
Trenton, the controversy has been partially solved, it appears. The Cake Gallery, a popular bakery known for its ultra-moist cakes, has relocated to a temporary space in Bel Air Plaza from Westgate Plaza. And so we were wondering, because this was a business that was figuratively, not quite literally, pulled out of Westgate Plaza kicking and screaming. I think you can still see the fingernail marks, but they found a place in Bel Air Plaza.
For the record, I'm a big fan. The Cake Gallery does great ultra moist cakes and other things, and it was down there on Haskell Street in Bel Air for. The business has been around for 57 years. I don't know if they've been there, but they've been there for the majority of it, I'm sure. And they had a lease, and the landlord, near as I can tell, the landlord gave them about a year or so advance notice because they're moving around, and they stopped a couple leases there because they're doing a bigger project there. The owner of the Cake Gallery did not like it, and he was very vocal about it on videos and everything all over the place. But they found a beautiful space in Bel Air Plaza, which is the original one was in Westgate. Sorry, Bel Air Plaza, 120th and Center, more centralized actually, and people are moving west, so they will do very well there. But he was not happy about moving, and I don't fault the landlord who it's a newer landlord. They bought the property and they do a great job, and so everybody wins. Let's put it that way. So we'll call it a draw.
Etal Vital Living, a vegan smoothie and juice shop in North Omaha, will open a second location this fall near 76th and Cass Street. In addition to cold-pressed beverages, Etal Vital Living also offers wraps, sandwiches, and salads. It is currently hiring for a full-time manager at its
I'll know
new
where to
location.
find you now.
Because I'm going to take the manager job?
Yeah, that too.
We have a new bar coming to an area that's got some really cool bars already, the Blackstone District. It's going to be called the Lion's Den, and it'll open next to the Red Lion later this month. And this is very, very much a part of the whole Blackstone District, and the website describes it as the space like your grandparents' basement, replete with eclectic decor, vintage treasures, but transformed into a cozy retreat.
Without the wet smell.
And that's your Grow Omaha Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round of the week, and that's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you next week at 9, right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.